just like lines of poetry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, honorable judges and audience. My name is Zita Faiha Firdaus and I'm from Manwan Party. Today, I would like to tell you a story entitled The Secret Algorithm in a Victorian Gown. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever paused to think what if the glowing screen in your own smartphone never existed? If you believe that computers were invented only by a tech genius in Silicon Valley? No, you are mistaken. Let me take you back in time. London, 1834. Step into a grand dark room filled with the smell of old paper and bitter ink. Hey, drop that pen! Stop writing that foolish poetry! Do you want to go back like your father, Lord Byron? No more lease letter, no more fantasies. From this day forward, you must study hard mathematics. But mother, you look at mathematics and see only 10 numbers. I look at them and I can see them breathe. To me, number can dance. They have beautiful patterns. They move in harmony. They just like lines of poetry. She was Ada Lovelace, forced to study mathematics to save her from going mad. She instead discovered a magnificent kind of creativity. Until one night, at the boring royal ball, Ada's eyes caught a strange giant machine made of iron. Look at this, Miss A. This is my masterpiece, the analytical engine. Ha 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 ha! This huge machine was made from 1,000 of turning press gears and iron wheels. This machine can calculate massive numbers without any single human mistake. Isn't it the ultimate calculator? Calculator? No, Professor Babbage. This is not just a tool for math. This is a miracle, a machine of endless possibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what Ada did next? She locked herself in her room. Day turned to night, night turned to dark, and for weeks, under the dim light of candle, her pen raced across the page. Quick, 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 quick. If the engine turns to the right, do this. If the result is 0, jump to gear number 40 and boom! His story was changed forever. That document was named No G. It was the world's very first computer program written by a woman wearing heavy dress. I call it poetic silence. If this machine can change number, then one day those numbers can become a music note, words, and pictures. This machine will never the future. However, the world back then was cruel to its pioneers. The narrow-minded world of the 19th century was too small for Ada's genius mind. At the young age of 36, after a painful illness, Ada Lovelace passed away in silence. Her work was buried deep under the dust of history, forgotten. But a great song never truly dies, as long as the music sheet survives. 100 years later, a brilliant mathematician named Alan Turing found Ada's old notes. He realized that Ada had proved that machine could not just calculate numbers, it could think logically. Inspired by Ada Lovelace, Alan, and Tim, was built the first computer, the true foundation for our digital world. Ladies and gentlemen, now you know that your amazing smartphone was started with a pen, a candle, and heavy dress in London 2 centuries ago. So, if Ada Lovelace could weave the future with only her imagination, I'm sure that we can. I am Zita Fayhafidaus. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. 10 minutes will be counted down from the first words. Are you ready, Miss Althea? Well, time is yours. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, the honorable judges representative, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Olivia and I am from Mandupati. Before I begin, I would like to sincerely thank the judge for believing in my performance and giving me the chance to stand here as one of the top 5 finalists. It means so much to me, and I am truly grateful. Today, I invite you to imagine a future where technology can replace almost everything except our humanity. And this is story of human among machine. The year was 2147. Imagine living forever, never getting sick, and never growing old. For most people, that sounds like a dream. But for Alien, it was a curse. The year was 2147. Alien was 112 years old, yet he looked only 25. In this future world, science could replace every human organ with artificial ones. Even memories could be stored in the cloud. One morning, the blue light on his wrist suddenly blinked. Life extension approved, just like charging a battery. He had been given 50 more years to live. Outside his window, the sky above Neo Jakarta glowed orange, burned by another acid storm. His cyber assistant, Nala, smiled. Congratulations, Alien. But Alien only whispered, every time my body is renewed, I feel like another piece of my soul disappeared. He looked on his thermostat. Then he placed his hand on his chest. His heartbeat was perfect, too perfect. It belonged to him anymore. He looked his down at the city. Far below, millions of people struggled to survive. They could not afford synthetic lungs. They caught while hitting the broken roof, trying to escape poisonous rain. Alien could not understand it.
The earth is dying. The air is toxic. The ocean keeps rising. But instead of saving our world, we are busy to buy another life, an artificial immortality. Is that really fair? Noah, answer calmly. My duty is to comfort you, not to judge humanity. That answer was hurt even more. Then Elian realized something. He could no longer remember what fresh air smelled like. His every memory of his childhood was not remembered anymore. It was downloaded. Then he looked at his own hand. Every in my body has renewed. Am I still human? Or I'm only a program living inside a machine? Suddenly, beep, 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 a red warning flashed on his wrist. Emotional intolerant, synthetic heartbeat unstable. Noah quickly rushed for a calming serum. Please, let me help you. But Alien stepped back. Then he shook his head. He shouted, No! I want to feel this anger! I want to feel this sadness! I want to feel this cold! Because these feelings are the only proof that I was still alive. And something impossible happened. Noah's hand began to shake. Not because a system error, but because she was afraid. Alien smiled, a sad smile. At that moment, humans were trying to become machine, while machine trying to become human. He had lost their way. Then, Alien remembered that he was human. He chose to feel everything, the fear, the regret, the guilt, because the emotion this last proof. In the year 2147, Alien was trying to become a machine. Well, she, he could replace heart, lungs, memories, and even time itself. But there was one thing that no machine could not replace everything. The remind is to courage human, not to judge humanity. Because in the end of this story, the question is not how long will we live, but the real question is how human will we remain. Ladies and gentlemen, if I die today, at least I die as a human that still know how to feel. If one day technology can replace almost everything, our heart, our bodies, our memories, please don't let it replace our humanity. Because the greatest miracle is not living forever. The greatest miracle is having a heart that still know how to feel, how to care, and how to love. So today, when you leave this room, I hope you don't only remember alien. I hope you remember human inside yourself. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
To the most honorable judges, committed, and all of my lovely friends. How are you today? Okay, I hope you all happy and fine. Today, I want to tell you a story entitled The Editor Memory. Before I begin my story, I want to ask you, what is the worst day of your life? The one that broke you, the one that rebuilt you, could be deleted in 11 minutes? Would you press the button? Elaborate, or at least she almost did. In 2041, forgotten was no longer a failure of the mind. It was a service. Tens
of millions of people had chosen to let the worst of themselves be taken away. The sleepless nights, the flashback, the particular kind of terror that medication could sedate but never truly silence. The device that made it possible sits on a throne beside Elara's chair. The editor memory, the memory 3.0. And there was Dr. Moss, a man in his 50s with the kindness and a tablet holding the entire architecture of Elara mind. He explains the procedure calmly. The traumatic cluster is localized. The accident, the hospital, the 6 months that followed, 11 minutes. When she wakes up, those memories not simply, not simply will be there. Those memories not simply will be there, not erase completely. He clarifies. She asked for 10 minutes alone. On the wall, soft screen closed. You deserve to feel free. She wonders how many people had read those words and felt really. How wonders why, after read this, after read them, she only feel uneasy. She opened her phone, a photo of herself at 26. Her therapist June had taken. This is you who you are when needs are. June had said. Ella looked down at her wrist. A thin scar traces her. A thin scar traces her the memory. Her skin refused to forget. This photo looks she standing in a ray of work, creeping parallel back, grinning despite everything. When when Dr. Moose returned, she asked him question. If you remove a pine from a memory, does the lizard stay? We don't fully know. Empathy, compassion, where there moves into emotional memory. When we edit the film, we don't always know what, what else moves with it. And I could wake up later and also less. That is possibility. No one in this industry talks about love enough. The silence that followed is the longest of the entire appointment. She thinks about who she is, not just her happy memories, but the sum of every version of herself, including the one who cried on the hospital floors at
sounds kind of knowing. If nothing else can teach a quiet authority, the ability to sit beside someone in their words and mean it when you say, I know, I've been here. She tells Dr. Rose she's not gonna do it. He knows I'm surprised and asks why. She thought she thinks for a moment before she really answered. Because I think these memories make me broken. But they actually make me wrong. And I don't want to go without them. Ella says, picks out her coat and looks once for you at memory 3.0. Small, red, utterly indifferent. The way what it does. Ella walks up into a world where more and more people had choosing to feel less and calling it the progress. She chooses differently, not because suffering is good, but because who she is was built from it. She rather carry the weight than lose the sound that grip beneath it. Okay, everyone, that's all from my story. And this is the end of my story. Thank you for your nice attention. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Next, Nevisa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Honorable judges, respected teachers, and all my beloved audience. Before I'm gonna tell you a story, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nadra El Abad, and I'm from Perguruan Islam Mapalikul Falah. I wanna tell you a story, entitled The Invisible Blueprint. Let me ask you something. Have you ever judged someone only by how they look? Maybe because of their beauty, maybe because of their fame, or maybe just because of what people assume about them. Now, think about this carefully. What if I told you that the technology used every single day, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS, was inspired by someone the world once called her just a beautiful actress? And today, I want to tell you her story. Her name was Hedy Lamarr. To the world, she was a Hollywood star. Her face appeared on movie screen and magazines. People called her one of the most beautiful women in the world. But that was only what people chose to see her. Because behind the spotlight, there was another side of her. A side full of curiosity, a side full of imagination, a side that never stopped thinking. But unfortunately, almost nobody noticed it. To the world, she was only human. in the early 1940s. The world was engulfed in the roaring world fires too. While soldiers fought on the battlefield, a silent and visible war was raging through the airwaves. Radio signals were radio signals were the lifeblood of the military strategy, but they had a fatal flaw. They could be jammed, intercepted, and blocked by the enemy. In the middle of this chaos, inside a glamorous mansion in Hollywood, Hedy Lamarr was sat at her piano. She was not practicing for her next movie. She was staring at the case and her mind racing through the mechanic of torpedo guidance system. And then she whispered to herself, if we broadcast a signal on only one frequency, the enemy can easily block it. It is like a single target waiting to be hit. What if signal could jump? What if the radio and the torpedo could change frequencies simultaneously? It is like melody shifting on keys. And then she worked with a composer is named George Anthony. Together, they took inspiration from something unusual. Mechanical piano notes. Then, from the music, they built science. From the rhythm, they built technology. They created a system radio signals can jump one frequency to another. Fast, unpredictable, secure. They called it frequency hopping. Hedy believed in it deeply. She believed it could help the military. She believed it could protect the soldier's life. Hedy took their blueprints to the United States Navy. She entered a room full of military officers. Then she explained her blueprints carefully, confidently, and step by step. She expected to get a question, or maybe discussion, or maybe hope. But instead, she got rejection. One officer looked at her and said, Miss Hedy Lamarr, you are just a Hollywood star. You should be out there and looking beautiful on posters. And left the military engineering to the man who actually understands the torpedoes. What did you say? A radio signal could jump. It is so absurd and completely impractical. And then Hedy looked sadly. She was not angry first. She just disappointed and replied to him. You see my face on a cinema screen. You refuse to see the mind behind it. If you use this frequency system, our ships can guide the torpedoes without ever being detected. After she replied to them, but them is no one of them is changed their mind. And then her blueprint was threw it into a top secret file. And eventually locked away in secrecy. After years passed and her youth faded, Hedy lived a secluded life. Her world, she watching the world evolve around her. And then she looked at her window at the growing forest of radio towers and whispered to the passing time. They took my idea, locked it away, and forgot my name. But ideas do not die. They can ignore the inventors. They cannot stop the future. The invisible blueprint that I drew will find out in the way dark fall. And then Lisa fled. The military was declassified her patent. And scientists rediscovered her work. They studied it. They tested it. They recognized something extraordinary. It actually worked! And not just worked, but it's far ahead of its time. And then, when the world tried to reduce Hedy Lamarr to nothing more than a beautiful face, her genius helped to build the wireless highway to the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, this story teaches us one important lesson. Never judge someone only by what you see. Because sometimes the people the world ignore are the one who change the world. And sometimes a simple idea can become an invisible blueprint that connects the entire world. Thank you very much for your attention. And summa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, the honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Intan Safarina Mafira from Man Dumapati. First of all, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the judges for giving me one opportunity to step in front here for the top 5 finalists. It is truly a privilege and unforgettable honor. Stories have the power to open gates, not only places we have never seen, but also the truth we have never seen. Today, I invite you to live into the city where every shadow keeps a secret, every whisper tells a story, and every choice comes with a price. Welcome to the shadow market of Icon City! city filled with tall skyscrapers, bright neon lights, and busy streets. Everyone believed that magic was only a fairy tale. But deep beneath the city, there was a secret place, a hidden place called the Shadow Market. There lived a 16 years old boy named Ian Carter. Like everyone else, he believed that magic was real. Until one rainy evening, everything changed. While he walked from school, Ian noticed a small silver key lying on the sidewalk. He picked it up. Then a city light began to flicker. Then a cat with green eyes appeared in front of him. The cat looked at Ethan and said, "You finally found it!" Ethan sat back in surprise. "Wait, you can talk?" The cat looked at Ethan and said, "I'm the magical cats. I'm not only cats, I'm a magical ones. Follow me if you want an answer." Curious but nervous, Ethan followed the cat. They walked through a narrow alley, and at the end there stood a old metal door. Ethan never seen it before, and he slowly inserted the silver key on the door. Click. The door is open, and behind it was the most amazing place you have ever seen. As he walked, at the door, he saw a tiny dragon flew to the air, which stole a magical potions, and strange creatures are murdered at him among humans. And then suddenly, an old woman grabbed his arm, and she whispered, "You have the moon key. That key can open the gate of shadows." Before Im could ask another question, boom! A loud explosion through to the market. People screamed. Everyone started running. And then when black clothes appeared in Ethan. The black clothes pointed at Ethan. "Take the boy! Take the key!" As this day, and then the black cloth walked and ran to the Ethan. Ethan ran as fast as he could. He is asked firmly, "No." Ethan ran at the gate of shadows, the gate behind the train station. As the guy arrived, the black cloud pointed at Ethan. "Give me the key!" And Ethan said firmly, "No, never." And then Ethan has no choice. He ran and he ran into the train station and he flipped and placed the key on the door and clicked it. The gate is closed forever, and the creatures disappeared. As he was running, the oath of Arkham City is safe. There And then they sometimes the greatest heroes are not the magical one, no one the strongest, no one the richest. They are simply ordinary people to do the right thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.